Why is it that the most beautiful flowers grow from the harshest soil? Why do we remember our hardest days more than our easy ones? And why does growth often come wrapped in pain? Let me tell you something most people won't. Growth never comes wrapped in comfort. It comes wrapped in pain, pressure, and resistance. Because the truth is, without struggle, there is no growth. And deep down, we all know it. People talk about growing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and even physically. But what does that actually mean? Growth is not just improvement. It is transformation, and transformation is never silent. It disrupts, it stretches, and it hurts. Mental growth means learning to think differently, to challenge what you've always believed, and to open your mind to new perspectives. But here's the painful part. It often requires unlearning, and unlearning is not easy. You might have to let go of beliefs you've carried since childhood. You might have to admit you were wrong. You might have to listen to people who once made you uncomfortable. That's growth, and it demands humility. Emotional growth means taking responsibility for your reactions. It means no longer blaming others for how you feel. It means confronting pain instead of running from it. Sometimes it looks like crying when you've always kept it together. Sometimes it looks like walking away when your heart wants to stay. And sometimes it means forgiving someone who will never apologize. That's growth, and it demands courage. Spiritual growth goes deeper. It's when you start searching for meaning beyond material things. It's when you begin to trust a process you can't fully see, but it often comes after loss, after betrayal, after being broken to the point that your only option is to look up and ask, why? That's growth, and it demands surrender. We all want it, financial breakthrough. But financial growth doesn't just come with more money. It comes with more discipline, more patience, and more uncomfortable choices. It means saying no to instant gratification. It means late nights, failed investments, or jobs that test your limits. It means learning about money when nobody ever taught you how to handle it. That's growth, and it demands sacrifice. Let's talk about the body. Physical growth, whether it's building muscle, healing from sickness, or transforming your health, is a slow and painful process. Muscles only grow after they tear. Bones only get stronger after they repair. And energy only returns after you've given yourself time to rest, rebuild, and recover. That's growth, and it demands consistency. Picture a seed buried in the soil. It's dark, it's cold, it's alone. But within that tiny seed is a potential to become a tall, strong tree. But first, the seed must break. The shell has to crack open. Roots must push through the dirt. The stem has to fight its way upward through the pressure of the earth just to find the light. That's painful. But without that struggle, there is no tree. Growth feels the same for us. We are not being broken to die. We are being broken to bloom. Here's the honest truth. Growth equals change, and all change disrupts comfort. You cannot stay the same and grow at the same time. You cannot hold on to old habits and reach new heights. Growth requires a decision to move, even when it hurts. So the next time life feels hard, when everything around you is shaking, when you feel like you're being stretched beyond your limits, ask yourself, am I being broken or am I being built? Chances are you're growing. Struggles are not life's way of punishing you. They are life's way of inviting you into something deeper, stronger, and more refined. When you're in pain, when things are breaking down, it's easy to ask, why me? But maybe a better question is, what is life trying to teach me? Struggle doesn't always look the same for everyone, but the pressure feels just as real. You're trying to survive, maybe feeding a family, chasing dreams, or paying off debts. Your value feels tied to what's in your account. And when it's empty, you start to feel empty too. But let me tell you, your bank account doesn't define your potential. Emotional struggles. This is a silent war. Smiling on the outside, but breaking on the inside. Dealing with anxiety, fear, grief, or trauma. No one sees it, but you carry it every single day. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are human. Relational struggles. Maybe you're giving your all to someone who keeps giving you pain in return. Or maybe you've lost someone who meant everything. Relationships stretch us, break us, and sometimes remake us if we let them. Career struggles. You work hard, Show up, try your best, and still feel stuck or unseen. Doors keep closing. People keep overlooking. But maybe, just maybe, the delay is developing something inside you that the destination will need. This isn't just a quote, it's a mindset shift. When a seed is buried, it looks like it's being hidden, forgotten, pushed underground. But really it's being positioned. It's going through darkness, pressure, and stillness so that it can grow roots before it ever breaks the surface. And the same applies to you. You're not being buried by life. You're being planted by purpose. But remember, even seeds must break open before they bloom. That breaking, that pressure, that's your struggle. And it means your breakthrough is near. So the next time life feels heavy, when the weight on your shoulders starts to feel like too much, pause and remind yourself, this is not my punishment. This is my process. And I'm not buried. I'm becoming. Comfort feels good. It's warm, safe, familiar. And that's exactly what makes it dangerous. Because comfort tricks you. It tells you this is enough. Even when deep inside, you know you're meant for more. It whispers, don't try, you might fail. And so you stop, you settle, and slowly, without even realizing it, your potential begins to shrink. Let's bring this home with examples you and I see every day. Staying in a toxic relationship. You're not happy. You cry yourself to sleep, but you stay. Why? Because you're afraid of being alone. Because starting over feels like a mountain. So you tell yourself, maybe it will change. Maybe this is just how love is. But the truth is, you've chosen comfort over healing. And that's not peace, that's quiet suffering. Working a job that drains your soul. You wake up every day dreading work. You dream of something more. Starting your business, learning a new skill, or changing your career. But fear freezes you. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? So you stay in that 9 to 5, convincing yourself it's stability. But deep down, you know it's not purpose. You become a prisoner of the paycheck, not a participant in your passion, living with a fixed mindset. You tell yourself, I'm not smart enough. I can't change. It's too late. So you stop learning. You stop growing. But the truth? You're not stuck. You're just scared. Scared of leaving the comfort of what you've always believed about yourself. A seed must break before it becomes a tree. Muscles must tear before they get stronger. Diamonds only form under pressure. So why do we expect our personal growth to be smooth, easy, or painless? You see, growth is always uncomfortable. It requires effort when you feel lazy. It requires faith when there's no evidence things will work out. And it demands courage, especially when you're terrified. You will never grow by staying where it's safe. You grow by stepping into the unknown. That's where character is built. That's where purpose is found. That's where greatness is born. The next time you feel fear, remember, that's your cue. Fear is not your enemy. It's a signal that you're standing at the edge of growth. So ask yourself, am I living or just existing? Am I choosing comfort or am I choosing my future? What would happen if I gave effort a real chance? You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be willing to leave the shore and trust that growth waits across the waters. Let's slow down for a moment and be honest. We've all had those days where life feels unfair, when things fall apart despite our best efforts. And the question that rises in our hearts is this: why is this happening to me? It's a natural question. It comes from pain, from frustration. But if you can shift that question just slightly, you'll unlock something powerful. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Begin to ask, what is this preparing me for? That one question changes everything. Let's get real. Growth isn't pretty. It's not instant, and it doesn't come with applause. It's waking up with tears in your eyes and still showing up. It's being betrayed and still choosing to love yourself. It's starting over again and again with faith in your heart. Growth doesn't come when things are easy. It comes when you choose to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. You're not weak because you're struggling. You're strong because you haven't given up. Life will knock you down. That's a promise. But what makes you grow is a choice to rise again. Resilience is not about pretending things don't hurt. It's about refusing to stay down. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me about who I am? How can I rise from this in a wiser way? Even a cracked seed can grow into a strong tree if it's willing to push through the soil. Struggle teaches us timing. Growth is a slow process, like seasons, like healing, like maturity. Patience isn't just about waiting. It's about trusting while you wait. Sometimes what you're praying for isn't denied. It's just delayed because you're still being shaped to handle it. So the next time you feel stuck, tell yourself, this waiting season is still part of my becoming. Your struggle can either be a prison or a platform. The difference? Perspective. Pain is not always punishment. Sometimes it's preparation. What if your heartbreak is shaping your compassion? What if your failure is building your humility? What if your delay is protecting you from disaster? When you look at life through the lens of purpose, every setback becomes a setup for something deeper, something better. This shift in mindset doesn't make the pain disappear, but it gives it meaning. It gives you direction. It helps you grow through what you go through. Remember, you're not just surviving your struggle. You're being strengthened by it. Every scar you carry could become someone else's survival guide if you're willing to see your pain as part of your preparation. So the next time life feels heavy, ask yourself, what is this preparing me for? Because chances are something greater is being born through you. Two simple but profound equations. Struggle plus reflection equals growth. Pain plus purpose equals power. These aren't just words. They are life truths. Let's take a humble walk through each one. Everyone goes through struggle. That's the one thing we all have in common. Pain, confusion, disappointment, failure. But not everyone grows from it. Why? Because struggle by itself doesn't guarantee growth. It's when you stop and reflect. That's where the transformation happens. What does reflection mean? Taking time to ask, what is this situation trying to teach me? Where did I go wrong? What can I learn from this pain? Writing it down, praying on it, meditating, talking to someone wise. Looking back, not with regret, but with curiosity and humility. Growth begins when you stop blaming and start asking better questions. Imagine someone loses a job. The struggle is real, fear builds shame. But one person sits in their bitterness. The other reflects. Maybe this is the push I needed to chase my real calling. That second person will grow, not because they struggled, but because they reflected through it. Now let's go even deeper, because some pain feels unbearable, even unfair. But here's a truth that changed my life. Pain becomes powerful when you give it a purpose. What kind of pain are we talking about? Childhood trauma, betrayal, loss, failure, depression, rejection. You don't have to waste your pain. You can use it. How do you turn pain into purpose? Tell your story to help someone else. Start something new out of your brokenness. Serve others who are hurting like you were. Become the person you wish you had during your darkest time. When pain is used for something greater than itself, it gives birth to power, not just for you, but for everyone around you. Think of people like Malala, who turned pain into advocacy, or survivors who start foundations. Or maybe you, after everything you've been through, you're still standing. That strength, that's power. So when you're struggling, don't just ask, why me? Ask, what is this growing in me? How can this hurt serve a greater good? What version of me is being born through this? Struggle plus reflection equals growth. Pain plus purpose equals power. Let these be more than words. Let them be lenses you wear as you go through life. Sometimes the most powerful thing you could do is simply write it down. Struggle clouds the mind. When you're in the middle of emotional or mental pain, your thoughts can feel like a tornado, spinning, overwhelming, and hard to understand. Journaling is like pressing pause on that storm. Writing helps you slow down. It gives your emotions a voice and your thoughts a name. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need poetic words. Just honesty. Write what hurt you today. Write what you wish you could say out loud. Write what you're grateful for, even if it's just breathing. Over time, journaling helps you track your growth, notice patterns, and release emotions that would otherwise weigh you down. It's not just paper, it's therapy. And sometimes, healing begins the moment you admit to yourself how broken you feel. When life closes a door, it might not be rejection. It might be divine redirection. It's easy to think struggle means failure. But what if your setback isn't the end, just a reroute? A failed job interview could be pushing you toward your true calling. A painful breakup might be freeing you for someone better, or for a deeper journey of self-love. A rejection letter could simply mean, not here, not now, but not never. When you reframe your pain, you reclaim your power. Try asking, what could this be teaching me? What if this is saving me from something I can't see yet? It's not about pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's about looking at the same situation with new eyes and deeper faith. Even the strongest warriors fall, but the wise ones never fall alone. You're not weak because you need people. You're human. Struggles become heavier when carried in silence. That's why having a support system is not optional. It's vital. A support system doesn't have to be big. Sometimes one good friend is enough. Someone who listens without judging. Someone who reminds you who you are when you forget. Join a community, whether online or offline. Talk to a mentor, a counselor, or someone who's been where you are. Be honest about your feelings. Vulnerability is strength, not shame. Healing happens in safe spaces. And you deserve people who remind you you're not walking alone. Motivation may start the journey, but consistency finishes it. Here's the truth. You won't always feel inspired. There will be days you don't want to get out of bed, pray, study, exercise, or keep building your dream. That's okay, but that's also when growth is happening. Struggle trains you in one of the most powerful life skills, discipline. Discipline says, I'll keep going, even when I don't feel like it. Try this. Set tiny goals for tough days. Show up imperfectly, just show up. Remind yourself that every step counts, even the shaky ones. Consistency during pain is proof that you are not being defeated. You are becoming stronger, because a version of you who keeps going despite the storm. That's the version the world is waiting to see. You don't have to be perfect to grow. You just have to keep going, with honesty, with faith, and with a heart open to learn from every scar. Your struggle is valid, but so is your strength. Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure, and seeds grow through dirt. Every struggle you face is shaping you for something greater. Don't give up. Keep going. Because without struggle, there is no growth. If this touched you, leave a like. Share with someone who needs to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe for more real talk and motivation. Until next time, stay strong and keep growing.